Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today I'll be reacting to part 2 of the Miku section in the BAND-MAID documentary series by Orange. I'm excited to check this one out. Last we left off, we learned a lot about Miku and how BAND-MAID formed underneath her creative guidance and her love for bandmaids. I'm excited to find out more about this. A special thank you goes to Polska Bob, or Bob, for his generous support and this request. Yeah, I'm excited, so let's just jump in.
Breaking new gate. 背中を向けたまま聞いてよ全部伝えたいから
After its formation, BAND-MAID consisted of 5 members, and the only guitarist was Konami. At this time, BAND-MAID wasn't really a hard rock band, but it was something that all the members wanted to move towards. It was then decided that the addition of another guitar would help them achieve this vision.
We can always use more.
So, they had 2 options: recruiting a guitarist or having a remaining member learn to play a new instrument.
It's wild.
They knew they didn't want another member, so it was up to Saiki or Miku to fill this role. As expected, Saiki refused, so Miku took responsibility as the founder of the band to learn to play guitar.
What a daunting task to have to learn a new instrument on top of being a vocalist.
At the beginning, Miku's guitar was little more than an ornament to make the pigeon look cool rather than an instrument to play on stage. Miku had a lot to learn and not much time to practice, so she used to play some notes here and there without having a real impact on the song. There are even some songs where she didn't even hold her guitar.
Yeah, no guitar. It's so weird seeing her without a guitar.
Miku's first guitar was a Rickenbacker 620 that she used for practice and for concerts. She chose this guitar for its looks, as she didn't have any other knowledge of guitars back then. Miku never thought about playing guitar.
You know, that's one of the reasons I chose my Sinister Schecters. I mean, I had more knowledge, I guess, of guitars, but I just thought they really looked cool, so that's why I went for them.
Any other knowledge of guitars back then. Miku never thought about playing guitar. Like Misa never thought about playing bass, but contrary to Misa, who fell in love with her instrument, Miku didn't like playing guitar that much. As she practiced, her fingers hurt, and she was asked to play more and more, increasing this pain and the blisters. Not a great start for our pigeon and her guitar. As the years have passed by, BAND-MAID songs have been getting more and more intense. Miku now had enough experience as a guitarist to notice that she needed a new guitar to match with this new kind of music. Fortunately, she joined Konami, who was invited to visit the Zamitis factory by Kanda Shokai from Kanda Shokai Corporation, the company that owns Greco guitars and Zamitis guitars. During this visit,
I'm unfamiliar with those two brands.
Owns Greco guitars and Zamitis guitars. During this visit, Miku fell in love with the Zamitis A24MF for its looks and its heavy sound, so she asked if she could try this model. Since then, she's never stopped using Zamitis guitars.
It's a good sponsor right there. I just did a reaction to Onset. Wow.
Song after song, Miku was getting more guitar parts to play, and when she began to feel under pressure, the other members cared enough about Miku to tell her that it was okay to put it down if she wasn't sure that she wanted to continue playing guitar. And even though she did think about quitting the guitar, Miku didn't want to bring an additional member to BAND-MAID, so she just kept practicing to match the level required by these new songs. We know how much of a hard worker Miku is, so there was no way that she was going to give up.
And she's so good. Like, it's completely unnoticeable. I wouldn't have known she wasn't a guitar player at all because she's been playing so well over every track I hear.
A hard worker Miku is, so there was no way that she was going to give up. Also, with more songs with different tunings and more concerts to perform, Miku needed more guitars, so she added other Zemaitis guitars to her collection, like the Zemaitis CS24MF, Aces and Eights. Miku added a lot of guitars over the years, electric and acoustic, and
Wow, they're
almost
beautiful.
all of them are from Zemaitis. And a special model was teased by Miku in early 2021 and confirmed a month later. A signature model named Flappy Pigeon.
Her own guitar. That's awesome.
Zemaitis talked to Miku about making a custom guitar for her as a surprise present. She didn't believe them at first, thinking it was a joke. At first, only the metal front design was planned to be customized, but Miku asked if she could also change the shape of the metal, and that this model fits her current settings. As Miku seemed to know what she wanted to do with her signature model, Zemaitis let her make any modifications she wanted to. She worked with a designer called Koji Takeuchi, who helped her create this beautiful design.
It is like so beautiful here. I'm not sure if it's engraved or if it's just a kind of a stick-on thing. I would love to feel what this is made out of, as well as like if I can actually like feel texture here. It looks beautiful.
Miku even used her handwriting for the logo at the center of the guitar. As expected, a lot of pigeons are visible everywhere on this design. Miku said that she chose this name with the thought of being able to fly around the world with her guitar. The Zemaitis Flappy Pigeon was sold on March 9th, 2021 with a beautiful case and a certificate of authenticity signed by KOBATO Miku herself. About a month later, on April 16th, a Miku KOBATO special exhibition was announced. The event took place in Ochanomizu Gaki Center from April 16th to May 5th and featured almost all Miku's guitars. Fans were able to check Miku's guitar collection and even buy a guitar or a Zemaitis t-shirt.
It's amazing.
T. Shinji had the chance to visit this exhibition and shared some of his photos of the trip.
Look at these unique designs. Each and every single one of them has its own character and signature. Let me just go through these real quick. I want to see. That is a big display right here. Got a flying V, a couple of like Gibson shapes. All of this like silvery finish, which if these are like etched engravings that you can feel, I'd be very curious to feel them. Is this like silver? I also need to know the price of these. I see 390,500. If that's, is that yen? 390,500 yen to USD. 2.4K. It's an expensive one, that's for sure. Look at this one here. What an interesting device. Ultra light electric. Perfect for travel. I've seen guitars like this. I never know what they're for other than for ease of travel and I guess for visual impact. I can't like imagine how it would feel to play. It's very interesting. Oh, look at all these designs.
Shinji さん、ありがとうございました。もう一人、別のスペシャルゲストによるスペシャルコーナーの時間です。
We actually have two guests.
うわ、ゲストが2人も。
Yeah, we have two incredible guitarists with us today.
それでは、スペシャルゲストのお二人と小鳩さんのギタリストとしての進化についてお話ししましょう。こんにちは。お二人とも自己紹介していただけますか？
Miku and Konami.
Hey, this is Axe from the Axe Japan YouTube channel from sunny Scotland. I've been playing guitar for about 26 years now.
26年も？すごいですね。
I'm a songwriter, performer, and teacher of guitar. The BAND-MAID song that got me hooked on them was probably YOLO.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Hello, 皆さんこんばんは、DPG です。今回ですね、海外のバンドメイドファンコミュニティの方から声をかけていただきまして、コバトミクのギターについて語ってほしいというふうに言われまして、あんまりこういうのやったことないんで、ちょっと緊張しますね。
大丈夫ですよ。
バンドメイドにとってコバトミクの立ち位置っていうのは皆さんご存知だと思うんですけども、ざっくり言うとバンドを結成した張本人であり、主にはギターボーカルと作詞、あとバンドのコンセプトみたいな立ち位置と、私は認識してるんですけども、はい。あとはハトですね。
She's the pigeon,
はい。
yeah.
So I'm not actually too sure when Miku started playing guitar, but I get the impression that she hadn't been playing guitar for long when the band started, and you can kind of see that from early performances.
で、彼女がギターを始めたのがバンドメイド結成というタイミングだと思うので、2013年ですかね。で、ギター弾く人だとわかると思うんですけど、数年ぐらいで、人前でプロとして弾くっていうのはかなりメンタルが強靭じゃないと厳しいなというふうに思ってます。で、それがね、例えばギタリストにとって簡単なフレーズだったりとかしても、さすがにちょっと人前でちょっと練習しただけでっていうのは厳しいのかなと思います。
Yeah. You know, and that's something I think of all the time, and this is coming from somebody who is a bedroom guitarist, but not only are you playing in front of people and there's that like feeling of social pressure and not wanting to mess up in front of a lot of people who are there to support you, there's different like environmental considerations as well. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? You're standing up, you're dancing around, the lights are bright, your hands are more sweaty. There's just so many other elements to consider that you wouldn't even like know were problems or things to worry about until they become problems, because when you are a bedroom guitarist, you get to play under perfect circumstances. You get to, play when you're fed, play whenever you want, play when your hands can be washed easily. Like so many things are in your favor. So not only to learn guitar from scratch, starting early on in the BAND-MAID days, she's performing. That is not an easy feat at all. I mean, performing is not an easy feat, but especially when you're not playing a native instrument. Super impressed. Hey, quick interruption. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you'd like to request a reaction yourself, hit the link down below. Now back to the video.
2013年にギターを始めたとして、その後1年後には、メイドインジャパンだったり、その翌年には、ニュービギニングか、スリルとかフリーザー収録されてるやつですね。あの辺がリリースされて、翌年には、ブランドニューメイド、フリーダムとかアロンとか入ってるアルバムですね。
Also, the way that these songs were written back in the early days, her purpose, guitar-wise, was really just to back up Konami. And a lot of the parts, guitar parts especially in the first few releases, were just single guitars, really. They really could have got away with just having the one guitar player in the early days. But I think because Miku is a songwriter and she was learning guitar, then why not have her just do backup for, the main parts of the songs. Obviously she's singing as well, and you can tell if you go back and watch like early performances and stuff, there are quite a few mistakes on her part. But yeah, you can chalk that up to many things: lack of experience. Obviously singing and playing is not easy. It's not the easiest thing in the world. It takes a lot of skill to do that. So there are mistakes here and there. If you follow the band closely over the years, she has got so much better at playing guitar. And also singing and playing guitar, and also the confidence has grown a lot, especially the confidence. It really shows. She's a lot more comfortable playing now and just letting loose. You can tell that she's not putting as much thought into it as she was before, because it's all become second nature now.
Exactly.
でこの段階でもギター歴まだ3年なんで、これも本当にギターやる方には分かることだと思うんですけど、わずか3年っていうともうほぼ初心者と変わんない状態ですよね。その状態で作詞やってたりとかプロモーションもやったりとか、編曲だったりとかアレンジですねとかやってる中で、あまり練習の時間が取れないって考えると、通常の、一般の方がギターをやる3年とはちょっと違うのかなっていうふうに感じるんですけど、その当初はまだ弾いてる。
I've heard this thing about just if you're going to become an expert in any discipline or domain, give it at least 30 minutes a day. And not because 30 minutes is a lot of time. 30 minutes in the grand scheme of things is really nothing. But if you're able to devote at least 30 minutes a day, that consistency over time compounds. For myself, I find that I'm a much better guitar player if I am playing, let's say, 30 minutes a day for a week, instead of playing 3.5 hours on Sunday and then taking another 6 days off and then playing another 3.5 hours. I'm 5 times the guitarist if I play in those 30-minute chunks daily. And I don't know, it's something to do with like the way the human brain just ingrains information, the way, our neuroplasticity works. But when you are as busy as Miku, it is definitely not an easy task to find those 30 minutes. So it's that much more impressive that she's been able to pick it up and really accelerate her skill set over the course of this band's existence. Really, so many things to be proud of when it comes to these girls.
のかなっていうふうに感じるんですけど、その当初はまだ弾いてるフレーズを簡単というか、パワーコードだったりとか、それほどテクニカルなことはやっていないなという印象ですけども、バンドされる方は分かってらっしゃると思うんですけど、そういったサウンドがあって初めてバンドに厚みが出るので、必要というところでいうと、十分必要なポジションではあるのかなと思います。
Obviously she has a great mentor in the band, Konami. It would be amazing to have someone like that in the band to actually teach you. But her progress has just come through practice, and when you're in a touring band, that's all you're doing. You're playing the same stuff every night, and that's what practice is. It's just repetition. So being on the road all the time, she's playing constantly, so yeah, she's bound to improve, and that's exactly what's happened. I think also her improvement on guitar has led to the evolution of the band. It's actually a very important thing that's happened.
It's a great point.
During their career. I think Konami was a bit limited in terms of writing in the early days because she was basically only writing one guitar part.
で、その後また2010
No, that's a really good point. Something I wanted to bring up at a later point, but I'm glad Axe brought it up himself. When you are Konami and playing everything by yourself, you are simultaneously having to account for the rhythmic section, the melodies, and the solos. And most bands, they have a lead guitarist and a rhythm guitarist. So to do all of that by yourself in a live setting becomes nearly impossible, because you can hardly do both at the same time unless you have 7 hands, which, Konami and maybe Akane can lend Konami some of her extra hands. But, jokes aside, having that extra pair of hands from Miku playing the rhythmic section, even if she is playing simple power chords or easy enough melodies and transitions, it provides that power to the song that they're playing. It gives a lot of flexibility to Konami, and over time, like an appreciating asset, Miku's guitar skills get better, and it affords Konami more creative ownership, and it actually allows Miku to creatively express herself through the guitar. And now, as we see in the modern era of BAND-MAID, Miku is taking so much more ownership of the guitar, really letting it shine, taking moments herself for solos, for those little pockets of the pigeon guitar. So yeah, just a lot of good to be to be appreciated here.
17年には Just Bring It これ僕大好きなアルバムなんですけど、
私も大好きなアルバムです。
で翌年にはワールドドミネーションという流れになっていきますけど、この段階でギター歴が、5年、ですよね。で結構 BPM が速くなってきてて、その中でもスライドだったり、オクターブ奏法だったりとかっていうのがあるので、正直、ギター歴5年でここまで弾けるっていうのは相当すごいなというふうに個人的には思います。で、ここから劇的に変わるんですけども、2019年のカンからのリリースからチョーキングとかのタウンフレーズとかも、バンバン入っていっていて、でも楽曲としてもかなりアクセントになってる部分があるんですよね。あまりカンから聞かれない方はちょっとぜひコバトパートに耳を傾けていただけたらなと思うんですけど、結構難しいことやってます。この歴で考えると相当ハードル高いことをやってるなと思います。
It's a good observation.
で、2021年ぐらいの、ギター歴8年かで、安心ワールドですよね、結構直近ですけども安心ワールドリリースして、で、正直自分も耳コピしたりとかしてカバーするんですけど、アフターライフの B メロのバッキングとかすごい度肝抜かれましたね。むずいって普通に思いました。
And to sing too.
Now that Miku's a lot more comfortable and has gained a lot of proficiency on guitar, she's able to write parts with 2 guitar parts in mind. Especially in the last couple of releases from BAND-MAID, there's a lot more songs that have separate guitar parts, like guitars 1 and 2, where they'll do different things, and sometimes they'll even harmonize with each other. There's even some little lead things that Miku does now. That's just a really nice evolution to see, going from just playing chords back up all the time to actually playing some lead guitar, which is really, really cool to see. Just to give you a quick example, if you take her solo from the onset instrumental, which is basically this. Just chords, we're in drop D, so you can basically bar. It's like one of the easiest things to do. To her solo in
strumming pattern, though, right?
where she's actually playing actual octaves in more of a solo environment, I guess.
She's
actually doing stuff like that. That's just night and day from a solo, like just a chord solo, to actually doing octaves. And I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of albums that you will see her actually doing like some cool like little lead stuff, actual, maybe even some guitar dueling with Konami. It would be really awesome.
That's what I'm really curious to see.
小鳩さんとKonamiさんのギター対決を見てみたいです。
And speaking as a guitar teacher myself, I can only imagine how proud Konami is of Miku and how far she's come. And you can see it when they're playing together live, whenever Miku's doing a part that's more complicated than what she's used to, and you can see the look of, she's doing it. on her face, which is it's super nice to see.
ギターにまあこう練習に
Yeah, and it's like to think of a person starting a new instrument later on in life. It's not like Miku had played guitar early on and then kind of stuck with it for a while and then let it go and then had at least a base experience. She started this in her adult life. I don't know, there's so many difficulties when starting new skills in adult life. You have to like train your brain almost as if you're a child, but you have to do it painstakingly and under all of the other environmental stressors, the time constraints that we're faced with as adults. You know, me, I'm trying to learn piano. It's right next to me. I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it right there. Trying to learn piano, but do I have enough time to do it? Absolutely not. Do I want to really badly? Yes. So you really just need to give those 30 minutes a day practices more of a shot. I know I need to do it myself. I could just go on and on, but let's keep going.
On her face, which is it's super nice to see.
ギターにまあこう練習に時間が使えない彼女がまあ8年で阪神ワールドのリズムギターを務めているのはまあ驚異的だなと思いますし、で、まあ、音源の収録っていうのはまあ以前メンバーが言ってましたけど、まあミンチョが演奏しているっていうので、ライブとちょっとこう音源っていうのは若干違うんですけども、まあそれでもやっぱりこう歌いながら弾くっていうことがあるので、多少簡略化されててもまあそれは仕方ないなと思いますし、まあ、それでも十分難しいフレーズ弾いてるなというふうに私自身は感じています。で、まあここ最近の曲なんかは特にそうですけど、もうなんかもうメタリカばりのなんかゴリッゴリのバッキングをまあリズムキープしながらちゃんとこう観客に笑顔を見せつつステージングパフォーマンスをしつつ、ちゃんとリズムキープしてるっていうのがすごいなと単純に思います。で、彼女のそういった安定感あるバッキングがあるから、まあ、ミンチョが結構自由なフレーズを奏でても、まあ、音が薄くならないというか、結構ミンチョって単音フレーズだったりとか高音フレーズ弾いてることが意外と多いんですよね。なので、低音域中音域っていうのを、まあもちろん低音はベースがあったりとかするんですけども、その間の中音域だったりとかっていうのをしっかりとこうコバトがまあ埋めているというような感じで、まあ、バンド全体でちゃんと本当にバランスが取れているなという印象ですね。
So yeah,
I'm really glad DPG there brought up Misa because it's not just Konami doing the thing on the guitar. Misa is there as well, doing her thing on the bass, filling the void. She plays this glue role, and Miku is right in the middle of both of them and is the perfect bridge. I think with just Misa and just Konami, as we heard in some of the early BAND-MAID songs, you're missing a bit of that just added emphasis or thickness to the song. And now the modern BAND-MAID that switches sections within 3 seconds and hands off the baton to every single member of this group, one after the next, it would feel very different if we didn't have these groovy rhythmic guitar sections that Miku often provides now. So that interesting interplay between Misa, Miku, and Konami, it's just night and day between what they were and what they are now.
Like I said, I think BAND-MAID's musical evolution actually has quite a lot to do with Miku's improvement on guitar, and we can only just look forward to seeing what comes next. You know, we might start seeing even more sort of complicated guitar arrangements involving 2 guitars. So yeah, we just have that to look forward to, and yeah, we'll just continue being proud of the progress that she's made.
で、まああんまり普段こうやってコバトミクのギターをどうだとかっていうのをあまりこう真剣に考えたことがなかったんですけど、まあ今回こういう機会をもらったので、まあいい機会になったなと思います。まあこれからも私はバンドメイドを応援していきたいなと思ってます。以上です。
ギタリストコバトさんについてのお話、お二人ともありがとうございました。
Over the years, Miku's journey as a guitarist is probably one of the most unconventional. She literally started with zero knowledge and a guitar as a prop to evolve into the well-trained guitarist that we know today. Miku's guitar became essential for BAND-MAID, and we can expect that she will have a bigger role to play in the future.
I love Daydreaming. This is one of my favorite songs. The lyricist.
Even though Miku is writing most of the lyrics for BAND-MAID today, it was not the case during the first years of the band's activity. It is very common for the debut of a band under a label that the management hires one or more lyricists to provide the songs for the band to perform.
Interesting.
That was the case for BAND-MAID, who worked with Akutsu Kentaro to write the lyrics of their first single and their first mini-album called Made in Japan. He even helped with the music and arrangement of Smile, which was released in 2019, a few years after their last collaboration.
Yeah, Smile was so good. After hearing this for so long, it's just bringing me back. This melody, I love
After
it.
Made in Japan, BAND-MAID worked with other lyricists for the next two mini-albums, New Beginning and Brand New Made. And it was with Brand New Made that Miku finally got to show her writing skills, as she was able to debut her first lyrics for Alone with the help of Psyche.
This might be the literal first song I reacted to. Is this Nonfiction Days and Thrill, I think. This is just a classic song.
She also did the lyrics for Yuragu and Freedom. Now you might wonder, why Miku's lyrics? How was this decided? Especially considering that before joining BAND-MAID, Konami worked as a singer-songwriter, so she had the experience of writing lyrics. Nevertheless, Konami, Miku, and Psyche decided to try to write lyrics for a few songs. Psyche said that she wanted to write lyrics but couldn't come up with the right words, and Konami's lyrics were a bit too airy-fairy to match BAND-MAID's current style, so they decided that Miku's lyrics fit the best. And Miku has her ways to get the inspiration she needs. Most of the
what I would love to see, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about BAND-MAID, but hopefully it's about BAND-MAID, would be some kind of like, okay, how do I describe this? If we could see how each of the members of BAND-MAID would like tackle a compositional challenge, so give each of the members like 30 minutes to an hour to try to compose lyrics to a given backing track, could be like a good test. You could do this for all of the other instruments as well. Try to write a guitar line or a bass line or whatever you want. For this exercise, we would do lyrics, and I'd be very curious to see the differences in the lyrics that Miku, Psyche, and Konami come up with. This is just my mad experiment brain running right now.
And Miku has her ways to get the inspiration she needs. Most of the time, when a song is done, she listens and takes notes about what's going through her mind. Then, she looks for ways to actually see what she has in her head, like watching movies, reading books, or searching materials on the internet. As long as writing lyrics doesn't become a duty, but something she can do whenever she wants, Miku enjoys going through this process over and over to write new songs. Let's take, for example, Influencer, that was released last year. Miku asked Saiki and Akane for a theme that could match with the song Konami wrote, and as Miku has been on TikTok for quite a while, Saiki suggested to talk about women living on social media. The trend of influencers on social media grew a lot with the pandemic, so it was a great suggestion. Miku read a lot of interviews and analyzed the behavior of those influencers that inspired her for the lyrics, like having 2 accounts on Instagram. One secret where you post your daily life photos and talk to your friends, and a fake account where you post only good-looking pictures to attract more followers. Miku also...
Is that the opposite? I think the fake account is for whatever you want to post, like a Finsta is what they call it, fake Instagram. And then the Instagram, the real one, is like where you post your best pictures. Unless I'm misunderstanding here, I think the narrator has it flipped.
Where you post only good-looking pictures to attract more followers. Miku also likes to employ words with multiple meanings, or even puns, as she did in Influencer with the Japanese English pun for the lyrics chit-chat, which means meaningless conversation in English, and chicha, which means narrow-minded in Japanese.
Okay.
将来の展望なんて正体不明じゃなんで社内マウントがせんチッチャチッチャ高めるアドバンテージマジこれフィルター神じゃん Push it like check it out
She's rapping.
Saiki is singing it closer to the Japanese word to make the pun even harder to find for the Japanese audience. For songs tied to an existing media like openings or endings, Miku is very involved with the material that will be linked to the song. Last year, she released a song called With You for her side project, Clupo. This song is the end title for the anime Smile of the Ars Notoria. And to write the lyrics, Miku read the novels and played the game from the same license to be in sync with the storyline. That's what I call true commitment.
That's due diligence.
Some songs are even written while BAND-MAID's touring, like Spirit or Carry On Living, which was born in a cafe in Berlin. Or more recently, Memorable, which was written during the US tour, along with the filming of a music video shot in California.
I feel my heart feel free to love you love me 言葉にできない This time without surrender
This is a nice groove.
溢れ出す想いを集めて空に浮かべよう I dream about you
There is also one song that was written especially for the fans, as a gift from BAND-MAID, and planned for the Nippon Budokan concert that was canceled due to COVID. It made a lot of us Maidiacs cry with its powerful lyrics that gave us hope when we were all having a hard time during the pandemic. And this song was about us.
I wonder how they are doing now. You let on that guy. It makes me feel nostalgic. That way, don't walk through my heart will always be with you. And let it them all. I should talk out me like不安に溺れていて何もできないくらいなくてただ切にただただ
It's a very sweet song.
願う日常物とに変わってくこの広い世界でも僕らは生きる大丈夫ほらここにいる一人じゃない
Oh, I just got chills.
Letting you away.
Now, the very astute of you might have noticed that Miku has a special persona during interviews or when she's on stage.
はい、お帰りなさいませご主人様お嬢様、バンドメイドのギターボーカルをやっておりますグループ小鳩ミクですよろしくお願いします
She's so cute.
And not only when she's dressed with her maid costume, this habit is so imbued in her head that this verbal tic is present in her private life too.
Which tick? Am I missing something?
諦めた。その衣装着てない時とか、
Oh, the head nod.
こう終わりましこういう収録とかが終わって帰りますってなった時に、コンビニ寄ろうとかで寄
She's just very agreeable.
でレジ行くじゃないですか。でありがとうございますポーとかなんかレシートご利用になりますかあお願いしますポーみたいなのを出ちゃってて、でも出てることも言わないとわからないみたいなので、はっって自分でびっくりしてるんですよ。
自分でびっくりするんだと。相手の顔を見て
みたいな顔してるんですよ。
But she wasn't always like this. During the first years of BAND-MAID, she didn't have this funny pigeon persona and talked more normally, but always with a great energy.
ということで初めましての方が今日は多いみたいなので、改めましてバンドメイドと申します。私たちバンドメイドは先ほど紹介していただきましたように、メイドの服を着てバンドをやってるそのまんまですね。なのでバンドのメイド、バンドメイドと言います。ちなみにロゴは R がついてるので R 忘れないようにしてください。
So cute.
はい、私たちバンドメイドはですね、皆様のことをあなたもあなたもあなたもあなたもご主人様お嬢様として呼んでおります。
Once you get used to Miku talking now, listening to her not saying po feels very weird, even though not everyone likes this side of her. Under BAND-MAID's previous manager, she tried to bring her persona but was quickly discouraged to continue.
やめてくれって恥ずかしいからやめてくれって
マネージャーさんも今は違うマネージャーさんに変わったんですぽ。でもその前のマネージャーさんの時は、小鳩さん本当にちゃんとしてくださいって言ってたんですぽ。
I don't like people who try to like stamp out creativity just for appearances. I get the whole like you need to market yourself for a broader audience to have like wide appeal and then ultimately popularity in your music, but what you do should be a creative outlet and an extension of yourself in some sense to make it sustainable, to make it fulfilling. I don't want to ever, see artists go down the path of reforming themselves for the bottom dollar, let's say. That's why there's like there's this constant tension, I think, just in all forms of content creation, media, art, of this, creative process. How much ownership and authenticity do you have? And how much do you curate for those who are your patrons, are your benefactors, do, give you the time and attention? Do you like placate for those people, or do you choose yourself? An eternal dance.
マネージャーさんの時は、小鳩さん本当にちゃんとしてくださいって言ってたんですぽ。本当にやめてくださいって怒られて、気をつけますぽって言って頑張ってこうちゃんとしなきゃと思って済ましてたんですぽ。でもマネージャー変わった時に今がチャンスだと思ってちょっと言ってたら、意外とそっちがこう返してくれたのでもっとやっていこうぽと思って、自由に言えるぽと思って。
So, you may ask,
Po.
why po?
いい質問ですね。
ポウポウポウ
私も気になります。小鳩さん、説明していただけませんか？
コバトミクと先ほど自己紹介しましたがコバトミクのコバトは小さい鳩にミクなので、私小さい鳩なんですこ
こは皆さん飲み込んでください。すっと飲み込んでください。
ちょっと苦いもの飲み込むみたいな気持ちで飲み込んでいただいて、なので鳩なのでポーって語尾についたり、くるぽーって泣いたりしますポー。解決ポー。
It's cute. I like
き
it.
っと受け入れてくれるはずなの
受け入れ
で、
ていただかないと多分耳障りが大変なことになりますポ。
なるほど。説明ありがとう
It's
ご
like
ざ
a
いまし
period
た。
under every
ナレー
sentence.
ターさん、続けてください。
Thank you. Miku is actually using what is called in Japanese kyaragobi, a common technique used in anime to make fictional characters more memorable and distinctive. Like the use of the onomatopoeia "nya" by cat-like characters at the end of their phrases. Except that
Yeah, in a sense, it creates branding, and not to like reduce what she's doing to like a marketing exercise. But when you do something that is distinct and you repeat that distinct thing, it definitely jives well. It's imprinted, and people in your audience will remember that over time. So you have to be very carefully selective of what your branding is, lest you want to change it in the future and confuse your core audience.
Miku is a pigeon, so she uses the word po. It's been years since she became the small pigeon that we know today, always full of energy and happiness with her cute and funny persona. And when she is on stage, during MCs, Miku becomes the funniest comedian for a few minutes of pure joy.
She's so fun.
といつものことならここで次の曲が始まるんですが、今回はですね、もう少しコバトタイムが続くっぽい。このクラップが鳴ったということはお分かりの方もいらっしゃると思います。次の曲、コバトのソロの曲をやりたいと思います。一緒にクラップでメンバーを呼び込もうと。また鳴った。なんでカラオケも大阪と名古屋とやってきてもコバト飽きたよ。もういっそ一曲まるまる歌うっぽ。バイバイバイバイヒッポー。途中放り込まれた意味を探す日常。エビワンため息ばかり脱ぎ捨てて乗り込めるって終わるんかいぽ。ちょっとノリノリだった気持ち返してぽ。どうせなら一曲まるまる歌いたかったぽ。頑張れコバト、頑張れコバト。ここはゼップ東京だけど、
This is
コバトの気
like
持ちは大丈夫。みんな優しい。
this is like an actual skit right now she's doing.
みんな優しい。きっと次こそメンバーも戻ってきてくれ
A
る
monologue.
はず。きっとね、きっとね。
I've seen this like musical theater.
もっとクラップをして、じゃあメンバーをお願いしますの気持ちで一緒にコバトもクラップするので、どうぞご協力よろしくお願いします。クラップスタート。
Wow.
はあ、ちょっと疲れちゃいました。でもコバトさんの MC はいつも面白くて大好きです。もっと見れますか？
Alright, but just a little bit. We have a lot of work for the next part.
え、次の動画は
Yes, we
何
have a
から
part
始まるんですか？
Let me check. Oh, Omajinai time.
おまじないタイム大好き。楽しみ。残りは来週にしましょう。次回は必ず最後まで見ます。では皆さん、良い一日を。日曜日にお会いしましょう。
She's so fun.
まだ知らない世界にな踊らせてやろう君。どれだからかに歌え。ちっと限りの今。どうするか気のした呼ばれのもっと欲しがらデザイン。何度でも夢見て振り返って重ねてく変わる景色。
She's just like jam-packed with energy, and it makes watching BAND-MAID live, I'm sure, so much fun, because I get to see it, sitting behind my computer screen, watching her go crazy on stage with her guitar when she's singing, when she's emceeing and dancing, and that kind of energy is super infectious, and it's honestly hard to fake. I'm the kind of person, I feel like I have a very maybe relaxed and like toned down personality. So like if I ran into Miku, she would definitely be the one bringing most of the energy to the interaction, which is totally cool. I love people like that. I feel like they are just, generators of good energy, good vibes, and people just want to be around them, myself included. Some of my best friends are exactly that kind of person who just, they have extra energy to give, and it feels a little parasitic the way I'm framing it, but I do give back. I definitely have a lot of reciprocity in me, but you know, people with that energy, they should definitely be adored. I know we all adore Miku the pigeon, and it's really fun getting to learn more about this band. As I've said before, and specifically with Miku here today, learning about her guitar story, how she didn't play at the beginning and grew her skills over time and now is developing into an even more mature guitarist, playing more complicated solos, scales, techniques. I'm really curious to see where her skills take her. Man, the dueling guitars of Konami and Miku. I don't know if it'll ever like fully happen, if Miku can ever get to Konami's level. If that is in the cards, I will shed multiple tears for you all. That is my promise. And it's really cool to hear her lyrical abilities as well. I think lyric writing is an underrated aspect of music composition because so much of the time has to go into arranging the song, all of the instruments, and you hear BAND-MAID, there's so many components going on. It feels like, how do you even add lyrics to something like this? But Miku finds a way. And I'm actually surprised to know that she is like their main lyricist at this point. I would have almost expected the lead vocalist, Saiki, to be the lyricist. I think that just tends to be the case in a lot of other bands, that the lead vocalist is also the lyricist. But, you know, it's not always the case, and I'm very, very, I guess, happy to find out that it's Miku. She has a great personality. She's writing great lyrics, doing wonderfully on the guitar. Can't wait for more from her. I hope you all enjoyed my reaction today. Stay tuned for part 3, the final reaction to the BAND-MAID documentary series. If you enjoyed my reaction, subscribe. And if you'd like to request any reactions for yourselves, hit the link in the description box down below. And as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.